Comstock Mining, about social responsibility in mining, the inheritance for the future of our children. Corrado, great to have you here today. We want to talk about preservation and how you protect the environment in mining as you're working in Nevada. Please give us an idea how Comstock and you guys are working with the team.
Well, it's critical for us because we're in a very cultural, historic district, and sustainability for us means making sure that the land is kept as good when we're finished than when we started.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So how do you do that? I mean, you have historic buildings, but also you have to take care about the environment. Maybe let's start with the cultural protection of your work.
Yeah, so every one of our employees not only appreciates but loves the history of the district. And so we're trained but also to understand that these historic mining structures are cultural treasures. They're historic assets. And so not only do we ensure that we don't do them any harm, we've created a whole infrastructure for preserving and making them better.
Mm-hmm, fantastic. How much money do you spend on that?
So we've actually committed 1% royalty. This is very unusual for a mining company. Even pre-production, we were committing to preserve and restore. In fact, we say protect, preserve, restore, and celebrate the assets of the Comstock district.
Perfect. And as we see those beautiful pictures here on the back, we were talking about taking care of the environment, but what are you doing, for example, saying safety of your workers, social responsibility? What on these themes you are doing there?
It has to be every part of every employee's belief that they get to go home safely every night. In 2013, we won first place for the Nevada Safety in Mining Award. In 2015, we were first place in Best Reclamation and Restoration Projects. This is not so common for a junior miner, so we take great pride that every employee, every person is really committed to the territory and preserving the district.
Do you have to do this by the law, or is a lot, let's say, dependent on the company?
Yeah, so the regulations do have some minimum compliance requirements, but quite frankly, we've never held ourselves to that standard, but a much, much higher standard. So these restorations are not required. Full reclamation of the mining activity is not required. So we've always gone well above and beyond. In fact, the land is important to us. We want the land to be valuable post-mining, not just pre-mining.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that means when you mine the land, it will be maybe even in better shape afterwards when you stop it.
That's exactly our commitment, to make the land as good or better than before we arrived.
Okay, perfect. Do you face any issues, let's say, with the native inhabitants like Indians?
Yeah, not so much Native American, but the community at large is very close to these territories, very close to these assets. So our mines are not far from civilization; they're close to civilization, and so the local people had a deep concern that maybe our activities would not be responsible. But over the last 3, 4, 5 years, we've demonstrated the highest level of responsibility, and the support has never been stronger.
Great. How does the company directly profit of that? I mean, do you see it from your employee side? Do you see it from the support from the people living there?
It's two ways, in my opinion. Maybe three. First, yes, we get tremendous support. So the process for permitting and the process for moving forward tends to be more concise, maybe faster. Number two is that when you plan in advance these reclamations and these restorations, you can get a synergy, you can get an efficiency from your operation, so that concurrent reclamation and mining actually costs less in the long term. So we believe that strongly. The third is these are our lands and our properties, and so they're much, much more valuable in the long run. So instead of finishing with a liability, we finish with a tremendous asset.
So that means you give the people a sensational inheritance for the future.
Sensational inheritance. Our guideline is if it's good for our children and our children's children, and it's going to be good.
Well, Corrado, thank you very much for that, and keep it going for the inheritance for our children.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Corrado de Gasperis, the CEO of Comstock Mining, talking about social responsibility in mining. I think that's very important for the future of our children. I'm your host, Jochen Steiger, Commodity TV, in partnership with Dukascopy TV. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Geneva.